It's been a few months since my life has gone back to normal. Currently, I do not feel safe anywhere. I used to dorm at my college, but I had to go back home during the second semester due to strange occurrences happening there. I don't plan on dorming anytime soon either. It might not be the smartest thing to share this since it's still under investigation, but maybe it will make people more cautious of social networking. It sure has made me wary of trusting strangers online again. November of last year was when the messages first appeared. Ever heard of Snapchat before? For those of you who don't know what Snapchat is, it's an application that lets you send picture messages to your friends, but they only last for a couple of seconds. Once those seconds are up, the picture disappears forever, and meaning you can never see them again. You can only send pictures you take at that moment, and they can only be seen for the few seconds you time them for. You can also draw and write texts on your pictures. You can even send videos. I never really knew about Snapchat until I was introduced to it by my friends. They encouraged me to download it, and being the weak-willed person I am, I gave in to the peer pressure. It seemed kind of fun at first. I was taking pictures and sending them like crazy. Most of the time, I just took pictures of myself making the goofiest faces and putting random letters for texts. I also went out of my way to take pictures of the funniest things. I remember taking a picture of this dude's butt crack while he bent down to tie his shoes. Yeah, it was sick, but downright hilarious. There were a lot of people who added me as a friend on Snapchat. Most of them came from Facebook or the contact list on my phone. This also included some people I didn't know too well, but they still sent me pictures either way, and it was actually pretty nice. I guess Snapchat made it easier to break the ice with people I randomly added or haven't seen in a while. One day, in November, someone called Where1-Forever added me on Snapchat. At the moment, I didn't think too much of it. I figured it was just another one of my Facebook friends. Instantly, the first message this person sent me was a paper with sharpied handwriting on it and a heart drawn underneath it. It read, "Hey cutie, how are you?" Once 4 seconds had passed, the message had disappeared. I was flattered by the fact that whoever this person was referred to me as cutie. I'm guessing it was probably a girl flirting with me a little bit. I sent her a picture back of me with my eyebrow raised and a smirk on my face. After that, I added the text, "I'm doing good. You think I'm a cutie?" and then sent it to her for 5 seconds. About a few minutes later, I got another picture from her. The picture was of a teddy bear carrying a red heart with a white backdrop. The text read, "You are on my top 5. Right away, I wanted to know who this person was. For the next couple of days that we messaged each other, she never sent me pictures of herself. For some reason, she wouldn't even tell me her name. I kept pushing her to send me a picture, but she always made excuses, or sent stupidly drawn stick figures instead. With that, I believed that she was either really ugly or really shy, and I was hoping for the latter. I decided to let it go, thinking that she mustn't really be into me that much if she's that secretive with revealing her face, and even her name. One day, while I was in the library, I checked Snapchat real quick while I was taking a break from typing a paper for one of my courses. Sure enough, there was a message from Where1-Forever. As soon as my finger tapped it open, I almost jumped out of my seat. She sent me a picture of a person, the first time she'd ever done so. But that's not what got me all bothered about this picture. I knew that the picture of this person definitely wasn't her. In fact, it was a guy sitting on a couch. White shirt, blue sweatpants, looking straight into a laptop. Bookshelves in the background. The text read, "I see you." I looked behind and around me. There was no one who seemed suspicious, just a bunch of college students in their own little worlds. Still, I didn't want to read too much into it. After all, why psych myself out from something that seemed like harmless flirting? I sent her a picture of me with this confused look on my face and typed out, "I don't see you. Why didn't you say hi?" The next picture she sent was a poster of my college mascot with the text, "I was so nervous, you're just too cute." From how I saw it, it just seemed like I had a secret admirer who possibly went to the same college. I sent her a message asking, "So you go to my college, do you?" She never answered my question, even though she opened my message. Things just got weirder after that small incident. A couple of times she sent pictures of me walking into lecture halls, eating in the cafe, making lines for food, and even talking to my friends. I don't remember all the texts, but there were some that stood out to me, like, "I see you everywhere. It's so funny how close I am to you," and "One day you'll know who I am." I started to think that maybe my friends were playing a joke on me. I asked my best friend Andrew one day if he was the one sending me all those weird Snapchats. He told me he had no idea what I was talking about, and I explained to him the whole thing, that this person called Wear One Forever had been sending Snapchats of me. Andrew said that that was pretty creepy, and that I must have had some obsessive stalker who obviously had no life. I was secretly hoping he was the one behind all of it, but I knew he was telling the truth. Wear One Forever doesn't have the same handwriting Andrew has. And besides, the dude couldn't lie his way out of a paper bag. After talking to Andrew, I asked all my other friends about it, but they also told me the same answer. Either it really wasn't them, or they were playing an elaborate mindfuck on me. One of them had to come clean, but no one ever did. And the Snapchats were getting a little too eerie. My secret admirer started sending pictures of only me, and nothing else. She rarely added texts on them anymore. It was like she was playing Where's Waldo with me, and oddly enough, I was Waldo. It became a mission to send a picture of me at least once a day. I began to pay more attention to my surroundings, but the only people I see every day were my friends. I never saw the same face everywhere I went. I figured my friends had to be the ones messing with me. Eventually, I stopped sending messages to Wear One Forever, thinking it was best to ignore and pretend like it didn't bother me. I didn't mention the messages anymore, and I even stopped opening them. They just kept piling on whenever I went on Snapchat. The fall semester was almost over at that time. December came, followed by colder days and nights loaded with college assignments. Even though all of this sounded intimidating, I was a little relieved, to be honest. It gave me the excuse to focus all my attention on something more important than those messages. And yet, whenever I looked at my phone for the time or a new text message, I always saw a notification from Snapchat. Wear One Forever sent you a message. After a week of ignoring them, I finally let curiosity get the best of me. Once I started opening one, I saw a picture of me. But when I blinked, it was already gone. I opened another message, me again, but it disappeared as fast as the last one. As I opened these messages one by one, I could feel my heart sink deeper and deeper with each message. They were all pictures of me all over campus. I couldn't even fathom as to how this person was able to follow me from one place to another. She even took pictures of me during lectures and when I came out of bathrooms. That day, I decided to stay in my dorm room since I was starting to become paranoid. My roommate, John, wasn't there for most of the time. Some of my friends were texting me to join them for lunch, but I was in no mood to come out and to show myself to my secret admirer. She seemed to know where I was every single time. To avoid my chances of being another Snapchat message, I only came out that day to buy myself a sandwich. When I looked at my phone a few times, I was pleasantly surprised at the lack of Snapchat notifications from her. I was able to breathe normally again, even though part of me was worried about going out. After all, I couldn't just stay trapped in my dorm room forever. I had classes to be in, friends to hang out with, and parties I wanted to go to before the semester ended. That night, I couldn't really sleep. I actually felt more alive that moment than I did the whole day. It was impossible for me to go to sleep when I had a million thoughts racing through my mind. Unsurprisingly, all those thoughts were related to those damn Snapchat messages. Finally, I fell asleep for what felt like hours looking at the darkness. The next morning, I woke up tired and not in the greatest of moods. I checked my phone to see the time. It was 12 in the afternoon. Out of habit, I also checked Snapchat for any new messages I could have received. The more recent messages were from Wear One Forever. Her messages took up all of my Snapchat. It had to be almost 50 she sent to me. Seeing her username alone made my body tremble with morbid curiosity. Before I opened the messages, I noticed something was off about them right away. She sent me videos in the more recent Snapchats, which is something that never happened before. Also, the time she sent me those messages was about 6 hours ago. It made me extremely hesitant to open any of them, but something inside me was demanding me to do it. She had to be taking pictures of something else that night. I was in bed that whole time. However, once I opened her first message, I could not believe my own eyes, and even thought that for a second I was going insane. I wanted to scream. Immediately, I regretted my decision of ever opening that message. Just thinking about it gives me chills. At first, I couldn't make out what the picture was. It seemed dark, but she must have enabled the flash option because there was a bright light illuminating the subject of the picture. Even though the picture was only for a second, I was able to make out what it was in the second and third picture, and by the 20th picture, my eyes confirmed it was someone lying on a bed. It made my heart beat unnervingly faster. Those were the most horrifying seconds of my life. As I kept opening these messages, they were the same pictures of someone sleeping. The more recent messages became closer and closer. The closer they were, the more they confirmed my fears about the person in the picture. And the videos. Oh shit. The fucking videos. There may have only been 5 videos, but they showed uncomfortable close-ups of that person's face in the glowing flashlight. And then there was that typical noisy silence audio in the background, and my own sleeping face. It broke me down, as I immediately dialed my college's police department. I told them someone broke into my room last night, that I was being stalked by someone I didn't know, who was also sending me pictures of myself. I tried to explain as much as I could, but they couldn't even understand what I was saying because I sounded like a complete mess. They came over to check up on my dorm room, observe any forcible entry that could have taken place, and even question my roommate for an hour. I showed them my Snapchat to prove the multiple messages the person was sending me. Unfortunately, they couldn't retrieve them and see the actual pictures. I told my parents about a week later. They wanted to pick me up as soon as possible, even though finals were coming up. After I was finished though, I went back home and the messages had stopped for a while. I didn't see anything from Wear One Forever for the second semester of college. The police are still trying to find out who the perpetrator is, and are currently trying to contact the makers of Snapchat to retrieve those terrifying pictures. At that time, my life was going back to normal. And yeah, I was still using Snapchat, just for the innocent fun of it. The last days of semester, though, became a different story altogether. It was a typical Friday, and I was home alone, watching TV, chowing down on snacks. I just completed the last of my finals, so I was treating myself after all that stress from college, and especially from that slightly traumatizing situation. But that all changed once my phone began to vibrate. This whole wave of dizziness took over me as I read what was on the screen. Wear One Forever sent you a message. I was conflicted with what to do at that moment, and maybe I shouldn't have opened the message. Maybe I should have deleted Snapchat from my phone and saved myself the trouble, because when I did open that message, I was clearly met with the image of my house in broad daylight. Not just my whole house, but specifically the view of the kitchen window. The picture only lasted for 5 seconds, and it was kinda hard to see due to its grainy quality. Yet it was noticeable enough to detect my own self sitting by the table, eating my cereal in the morning, looking outside the window at what I remembered to be particularly nothing at all. Update. I've noticed lots of you have questions regarding creating screenshots saving the Snapchats. I couldn't screenshot them before because I don't have that immediate press 2 buttons option. On my screen, I have to tap a little white circle that opens up certain functions. However, it's really hard for me to do that and to keep the Snapchat open at the same time, since you have to keep pressing it. Back then, I also wasn't aware of apps that can save Snapchats. When I finally was able to download SnapSave, I was too late, and Wear One Forever wasn't sending me Snapchats anymore. Update 2. Some of you requested proof for those dreadful pictures. I can't show them to you because 1. About 99% of them are corrupted, and 2. They're considered evidence for an ongoing investigation. The only picture I can show is a screenshot of Wear One Forever on my friends list. This is it. There are those of you asking why I haven't deleted my Snapchat yet. This person obviously knows what college I go to and where I live. We have to bust him, her, or whoever this is, so I can actually feel safe again. If I just deleted or blocked him or her, then I won't ever know who is stalking me. They could even cause unspeakable harm to me, but it might not happen if their whack job selves are in jail. G'day mates. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. As always, guys, a big shout out goes to Erin Frost for the amazing thumbnail she's given us here. Don't forget to go check out her stuff, guys. I'll leave a link in the description. So mates, you guys have sent me hundreds of photos, like literally hundreds of photos. I think I'm actually pretty close to 1,000 pictures now. Thank you all so much for the photos, guys. I seriously didn't expect such a massive response. I've definitely got enough photos now for this video that I'd like to make, so now we've just got to reach 100,000 subscribers. But guys, keep sending them in because I can always fit in more. Also guys, don't forget to like, comment, share the video and subscribe if you're new. Also be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter for the behind the scenes goss. And be sure to stay tuned, mates, because I have a couple of interesting topics coming up for the next vids. And yeah, be sure to let me know what you guys want to see next. And yeah, I'll see you mates in the next video.